Hey there, Canonites! Welcome back, finally. Sorry about the long period of inactivity lately, I have an explainer on my channel for that as well. But now that we're back in full swing, let's start diving into some Halo Infinite topics I know y'all have been eager to discuss, and I think there's no better place to start than the cut mid-credits scene modders have been able to pull from Halo Infinite's files. Initially just an audio file, Game Cheat 13 was able to fully resurrect the cut cinematic, which you can watch in full on his channel. There isn't much to really dive into in the scene itself, especially since it's cut content, but I had a few thoughts on the scene that I did want to go through. A nice, simpler video to get us back into the swing of things. So today, let's talk about the cut mid-credits ending. As noted, if you want to watch the full cutscene, check out Game Cheat 13's channel. For now, I'll briefly summarize the scene, then we'll break it down. The pilot, or Fernando Esparza as he's properly known, is sitting in his chair when a new signal comes through. Checking the signal, Fernando calls the chief forward, excited to find another friendly UNSC signal. The scene echoes the game's openings in a lot of ways, seemingly meant to bring the game full circle, metaphorically. Now that everyone is familiar with the scene, let's break down its details. First, it's been pointed out that the chief seems to be wearing an older version of his armor, more in line with what we saw in 2019 and 2020, which could hint that this cinematic was cut either around the time of the game's delay or sometime before that. Maybe this was cut when Joe Staten took over, maybe it was cut before that, we'll likely never know. Though it's hard to speculate on specifically why the scene was cut, I could imagine reasons from it no longer representing the plans of the devs, to simply being a victim of time. The scene itself doesn't do too much on its own, merely confirming other UNSC survivors out there, which we technically already knew. As it stands, this could have been the Spirit of Fire, this could have been Professor Anders, this could have been Lasky or Halsey, it could have been the goddamn Pillar of Autumn too. Interestingly, there is Morse code in the cutscene's audio, much like we saw back in the E3 2018 trailer. Sadly, it seems to only translate to UNSC tag detected. Maybe that was placeholder audio, or maybe this was all the scene was ever meant to be. That pretty much sums up the scene and its contents pretty well. There's very little to it overall. That said, I do have some thoughts on who the chief, the weapon, and pilot might encounter first. One possibility remains Professor Ellen Anders from the Halo Wars franchise. We last saw her on Installation 09, intercepted by a Guardian. Maybe Cortana brought the Professor to Installation 07 to make use of Anders' xenoarchaeology credentials. Alternatively, maybe it's Lasky or Halsey, or maybe even Spartan Thomas Horvath, a surviving Spartan 4 who had tried to fight the Banished in the same area as the Chief later would. After the Reverie fell and many other Spartans in UNSC forces died or went missing, Horvath decided to head upspin on the ring, searching for more survivors, maybe even his fire team. Honestly, the more I think about it, the more Horvath's signal being the one detected makes sense to me. I do hope we get to see him, on screen in future content. I could go on and list other options, such as Spartan Agrena, the Arbiter, Blue Team, Osiris, Alpha 9, and more. The possibilities are fairly vast. We'll dive more into this topic as the weeks go by, especially once we dive deep into some of the lore and story of the game. But for now, let me know your thoughts on this cut mid-credits scene, and look forward to some more content this week, though on the lighter side for now. Thank you for watching as always, stick around for that Patreon shoutout, and until next time, this has been Halo Canon. First, I'd like to give a big thank you to our Horospis patrons. First, there's Hope, then we have Freight, Discombobulated Sycophant, Justin Montgomery, Man in the Dark, Keisha Dila, Daddy Anarchy, Great Scott Productions, Jumpy Sucks Balls, and Ever Corrado. Thank you all for your amazing support of the channel. Next, I'd like to thank our theoretical patrons. If you'd like to see your name here or get a direct shoutout, check out patreon.com/halocanon. You can simply support the channel or get additional benefits, such as behind-the-scenes materials, including raw audio for upcoming videos, or even shoutouts like this. All patrons now get early access to certain videos as well, and your Patreon title will appear in the Halo Canon Discord. However, your continued viewership is more than enough for me. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up, and maybe even subscribing to the channel if you aren't already. If you really enjoy my stuff, turn on that notification bell so you can be among the first to see new videos when they release. But for all my fellow Canonites, keep on being awesome.